Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get this show rolling. Uh, so the major rumor is right now, Kirk Cousins is probably the quarterback we're gonna go after if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign with us. More than likely, Rodgers is gonna sign. But if he doesn't, Cousins seems to be the second most likely scenario. And I'm just here to say, let's avoid that. Kirk Cousins is definitely over the hill. I think last year basically proved that to people watching. Uh, First year since the Achilles injury, Falcons went out there, dropped a bag on a fresh, shiny new quarterback, an older model. Guess what? Didn't pan out too well for them, and I don't think it will pan out well for us if we make a move to get someone like Cousins. Now, what you got to realize throughout Kirk Cousins' whole career, he's had solid systems he's been in, and I just don't think Arthur Smith offensive scheme is really that advanced. It isn't really anything too special. Wasn't fooling anyone last year with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I don't think it's gonna fool anyone this year with Kirk Cousins, Mason Rudolph, or Aaron Rodgers, really. So I think Cousins will just be more of a disaster class than anything. Where with Mason Rudolph, there's still a little bit of youth on his side, where Cousins there's no youth. The rainbow is faded away. It is all but over for Kirk Cousins. It is basically, I don't know, his career probably should call it quits after this year. I would assume him and Aaron Rodgers will probably hang up the boots together after this year. But like I said, with the when he was playing for Washington, he had Kyle Shanahan's system as the offensive coordinator. When he went to Minnesota, he had Zimmer in there in the beginning, and then O'Connell, who has been a masterful offensive schemer at the head coaching position. And I just don't think we have that in Pittsburgh, and I don't think it would be an environment for someone like Kirk Cousins to thrive. He's more of a system quarterback than anything. He relies heavy on a system to carry his game mostly, and the Steelers' offensive system has been puttering, has been stuttering through games since Ben's last years in the league. Like it has been a struggle watching this offense for so long, and I don't think someone like Cousins would turn it around. As I said, last 5 games of his season last year for the Falcons, 1 touchdown to 11 interceptions. I think it'd be more of the same here in Pittsburgh. I think the rush would begin to him. I think he'd be holding on to the ball too long. I think he'd made a lot of poor decisions. Or with Rodgers, you know, with Rodgers, he's not going to make terrible decisions. Very rarely does he make awful, horrible decisions, Aaron Rodgers. Throughout his entire career, he's protected the football, and that's something you can't really say too much about Kirk Cousins, especially if you look at the end of last year. But let's keep this train rolling, as I've seen another horrible quarterback solution or patch or piece of thread. I don't even know what to really call this, but I saw Mo Moton of Bleacher Report say the Steelers should go out there and trade for Will Levis. Now, do you want us to just solidify the worst quarterback room in the league? That would be what doing this move is. Once again, someone I don't feel like we should give up any piece of value, anything that could be valuable to us in the future or to future trades. I wouldn't waste it on someone like Will Levis. Will Levis has proven throughout his career that he's plays like a chicken with its head cut off. That's all he's proven. Like he just panics a lot, it seems like. He's a meme and turnover machine. I mean, every week last year it seemed like there was a new meme of Will Levis doing something you've never seen on the football field before, and not in a good way. It was always in the most awful way possible. He would be vertical to the ground and just flip the ball backwards, fumble, and it'd be returned to the house for a touchdown for the defense. So let's avoid that disaster class also of a player. I mean, Will Levis has proven nothing in this league. I don't know if he's shown any potential either. Like I didn't watch many Titans games in Levis's time there, but the low lights I saw were low enough for me to want to avoid that man for the rest of my life. I don't need him coming to Pittsburgh and trying to turn his career around because it didn't seem like there was much there in Tennessee. It seemed like a lot of just craziness with Will Levis on the field. Just some of the wildest plays you've ever seen come out of Will Levis's time in Tennessee. So let's avoid that also. And we'll finish with our quarterbacks today with a plan for Will Howard. As I saw today that there's a struggling spot for Will Howard right now. They think they're not gonna really give him a chance to start at all this year. That's what I've been seeing reports of, and people are saying they're not too happy about this. They want to see Howard be able to at least compete for the job. But if I'm gonna be honest to every fan out there, this isn't surprising. Mike Tomlin didn't pull the trigger early on Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett was a first-round draft pick. I know Howard was good value in the sixth round, but he is a sixth-round draft pick. Usually, sixth-round draft picks don't see the field. Usually, it is better for a sixth-round draft pick to sit a year or two and then maybe get their opportunity to ball out. Uh, what I'd like to see, the only way I'd want to see Howard on the field is if the Steelers really get off to a slow start with Mason Rudolph as our quarterback. If we have Rodgers and we get off to a slow start, then you can go to Rudolph. But if it keeps going bad, I think Howard, if by mid-season we're really struggling, we're like 2-6, 1-7, that's when you can toss Howard in there at the earliest, I would say. I would hope you could save it. The season's over, last 4 games. If the season's over, then you definitely can toss him in there. But at the earliest, I would hope it's week 8 or 9 by the time we see Howard. The upside to putting him in early is that you can know earlier if you got a guy. I mean, if he's really that good, whenever he hits the field, you're gonna be like, "Oh, we got our next guy at quarterback. We don't really need to be looking anymore." But the downside to starting him earlier is if he gets off to a horrible start, you could shoot your rookie quarterback's confidence into the graves. We've seen it many times in Cleveland where you put a rookie quarterback in there, they're getting hit all the time, they're turning the ball over all the time, and they're never the same quarterback like they were in college. That's the only fear of putting in someone like Howard super early into the season. You don't want him to start off really bad in his career and then his confidence shot and he can never really find that groove again that he was able to have in college, in that last year in college, especially where he was able to win a national championship for Ohio State. But that's what I would plan for Howard. Uh, I wouldn't want to see him. My plan would not to use him this year, but if we really do get off to a horrible first half of the season, then let's break glass if needed. Bring in Will Howard, see what we got there, see if we do need to go after a quarterback in next year's draft, or if Howard could be the quarterback of the future. But let's get to some comments, wrap this show up with some Monday morning comments. We love it. Weekly on Mondays. Remember to leave comments on every video during the week, and you'll get a chance for me to respond to them next Monday. But first comment coming from Ray Thomas 2000. He says Boswell for team offense MVP. Boswell's been team offense MVP for years now. For the past 4 years, it's been Boswell carrying that offense. So this isn't a hot take. Boswell's always going to be our offensive MVP as long as he's here because Bos is as automatic as it gets. Best kicker in the league since he's been with the Steelers. That's my hot take. He's always been better than Justin Tucker. Definitely better than Tucker past couple years. But Boswell, he's the GOAT. Best kicker of all time. Next comment from Jeff Grubb, 9,448. We cannot let go of draft picks for next year. We need them to trade up and draft a quarterback. As far as trading an outside linebacker, I would trade Herbig, not Highsmith. I agree with you. We shouldn't use our draft picks to trade for a player like Olave. That's what he's commenting on. The video about trading for Chris Olave, where I pitched 2 possible trade scenarios. Of course, not my favorite route is going the Pitts way. I don't think we should give up assets like that if the plan is to move up for quarterback next year, of course. But we have acquired a couple picks in next year's draft already. So if we don't really plan on having to go after that quarterback in next year's draft, but I do think the plan is to trade up in next year's draft. But if somehow the quarterback gods whisper to us and Will Howard's the guy, then I think it is a true possibility where you can give up some of those later round draft picks to acquire talent at positions that need to be filled. But outside linebacker, I don't know why you'd keep Highsmith over Herbig. Highsmith is the older player. He's the more expensive player. He's also been on a decline the past 2 years, while Herbig has been on an incline in the past 2 years. And as I said, he's gritty, an energizer bunny out there. I think he's the future for the outside linebacking position next to TJ Watt. On the other side of TJ Watt, I think Herbig's going to be there after Highsmith gets shipped off or just leaves the team in the next couple years. That's just how I see it going down. I think Herbig is developing really well, and we've seen it in his time on the field the past couple years. So I don't think Highsmith has much longer in Pittsburgh. This could be his final year, in my opinion. Final comment though from Verlamon's son, 3608. He says Hilton is too old and just not what he was. I know. This is a comment on a video. I was talking about our final little tweets we could add to the lineup, and I said Mike Hilton could be a nice depth cornerback to maybe have some gadget plays with. And that's really why I wanted Mike Hilton, just for the gadget plays. He's not the best cover guy, but he's never been the best cover guy. That's never been the thing he did well. He's a good in run defense, and he's also good at blitzing off the edge and jumping snaps. I think that's why you signed someone like Mike Hilton, just to be a gadget guy. He was never to be a lockdown third or fourth cornerback, someone you can rely on to shut down a receiver. Of course not. He's the guy you want on a gadget blitz with your cornerback coming off the edge. But that's just how I see it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. This has been Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Denis, and I will see you tomorrow.